Hey guys, I'm Colby, and today's video is about the Stradavar Prime. It's Mastery Rank 12 with 2 firing modes, a full auto mode and a semi-auto mode. With the semi-auto mode being a little bit stronger in base damage, crit chance, crit damage, status chance, a little bit of base punch through, and even higher accuracy. And semi-auto mode also deals mostly slash as opposed to fully automatic mode dealing pretty balanced IPS damage. To be honest, I think this thing is pretty damn ugly. The barrel isn't even straight, and the disc-shaped clip is just nasty. It didn't need to be there. But luckily, if I'm not mistaken, you can use the Day of the Dead Stradavar skin for this. But let's see how this weapon handles. First fully automatic and then semi-auto. I currently have this modded for viral and slash procs. And something to note is that the base damage is higher on the semi-automatic mode, so the slash procs are higher as well. So it really depends on your playstyle on which firing mode you prefer. Personally, I prefer the semi-automatic mode, and I'll swap to full automatic if I need to take down something like a nullifier bubble, or if I want to proc statuses right away. As you can see, it performs pretty damn well, so let's go about modding this. First off, you've got your mandatory mods, damage and multi-shot. Then check to see if the weapon is crit viable, and yeah, it is at 24% crit chance and 2.6 times crit damage multiplier. It is very crit viable. So crit chance and crit damage in there for sure. And next, what element type do you want to base it on? And in most cases you would go corrosive, it's always good. But in this case, this weapon has very high crit chance and crit damage, and it has high base slash damage, at least in the semi-automatic mode, making it very 100 munitions viable. And anyone familiar with 100 munitions knows that it rips a new one in whatever they're shooting at. And if we are working with 100 munitions, then viral is usually a little better than corrosive. Viral will split their health in half, and 100 munition slash procs will take care of the rest. But it can be a little bit inconsistent sometimes when the viral proc runs out just before they die. So having a high status chance helps a lot here. Next up, you can always mod for more raw elemental damage. Or if you don't mind the accuracy loss, you could always mod for more raw base damage like heavy caliber. And the base damage from heavy caliber will also affect your slash procs. And when I tested it, the procs were ticking at almost 3k. And that's on a target with full armor. Or you could use something like Prime Shred or regular Shred if you don't have the Prime version. And this will give you a 55% fire rate and a 2.2 meter punch through. And I know that doesn't sound great in terms of raw damage, but fire rate equals more bullets equals more slash procs. And you could even go further as to add something like Vile Acceleration for even more fire rate. And if you still feel like you're lacking raw elemental damage, you can go primed cryo rounds instead of rhyme rounds, but I've tested them both and the damage is pretty close to the same. Because for a build like this, status chance is pretty essential. And there are some people who don't have primed cryo rounds, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to do without it. And now let's take a look and compare heavy caliber versus Vile Acceleration, damage versus fire rate. So as you can see, heavy caliber is a little bit stronger, but at a farther range you're going to feel the accuracy loss. And it's not often we're up against level 165s, so we don't need that much damage. So being able to shoot quickly is pretty beneficial. Not to mention the speed at which you could take down nullifier or Xmas bubbles. But on the other hand, Vile Acceleration may cause ammo efficiency problems, so your choice. But for me personally, I prefer Prime Shred. I like that little bit of extra punch through. It's awkwardly satisfying when you're firing at a target and you accidentally kill something behind it. And in the case of this weapon, that happens all the time with slash procs. One more thing to note is full auto mode consumes 1 bullet at a time, whereas semi-auto mode consumes 2, but it only fires 1 bullet. I don't know if this is a bug or how it was supposed to be, but I feel ripped off. Give me my ammo back or give me another bullet. Now to test it out with a riven, it is multi-shot, crit chance, and toxin, but negative status chance really hurts. Meaning we get less viral procs and less slash procs. And I'll be testing this with the fire rate build. Here we go. So this weapon is great with a riven, but it still melts through 165s without one. And if you're newer to the game and you don't have Prime Shred or a maxed heavy caliber or even Vile Acceleration, you can always put in Vigilante Armaments for that extra multi-shot, or even Hammer Shot for more status chance and crit damage. And that's just about all the info there is on this weapon. Let's move on to pros and cons. Semi-automatic mode has an innate 1 meter punch through, it's very handy. And this weapon has terrific base stats, crit chance, crit damage, status chance. And the weapon is also very user friendly, anyone can use this. There's no projectile flight speed, it is a hit scan weapon, and there doesn't appear to be any fall off damage from what I've tested. And this weapon has very great scalability. Thanks to 100 munitions, you should be able to go into endgame, whatever endgame is, without any problems. And now for the cons. Aside from this weapon being completely outstanding, the primary firing mode, the full auto mode, is a little bit weak. I had expected better, to be honest. But still a great weapon, so no complaints. Anyhow, this about wraps us up here. If this video was helpful at all, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. My name is Covius, and thank you for watching.